Boxing Ego here. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon on the top of your screen to get notified when the latest new content drops. 1. Tony Bellew insists that Deontay Wilder is the only heavyweight that could drop Anthony Joshua. Stay tuned. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also, subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing if you want to become part of the gang. Notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the super chats, channel donations, the Venmo donations, and the Patreon family. We working. Shout out to ESPN and the Metro. It was originally an interview from the Metro, but I seen it on ESPN, so I'll link in the description, and then they have the link to the Metro. So check one of those sites out for the initial interview if you want to read it verbatim. I'm going to go over a quote from Tony Bellew regarding a potential fight in his division. I guess he's staying at heavyweight, I'm not really sure. But this is what Bellew said. I quote, "It's embarrassing Deontay Wilder has 40 fights and fought the names he has. But the only man on the planet who could beat Anthony Joshua is Deontay Wilder. No one else stands a chance, not even Tyson Fury. Styles make fights. Does anyone think Joshua would find it hard to catch Fury clean? Does anyone think Fury has the power to hurt Joshua? It's easy to see the outcome in that fight. It's a brutal stoppage, and I believe Wilder would do the same to Fury," right? No one wants to see a 12-round match, two fighters playing chess. They turn up to see blood, guts, and someone going to sleep. Joshua has done that time and time again, and I believe he'll deliver. And when he faces Povetkin, that's what'll happen. I think he'll obviously, absolutely obliterate him, smash him in 3 or 4 rounds at most. From Tony Bellew. Listen, I don't know what it is. I love the UK. I actually like Tony Bellew too. I think he's a stand-up dude. But I don't know if it's the UK. It's like there's like this brotherhood almost, to the point where they, in my opinion, a lot of fighters from the UK don't want to speak out against people that they're not beefing with from the UK. Like Tyson Fury and Tony Bellew obviously have an issue because they called each other out recently and they've been talking shit. But if it's someone like Anthony Joshua and Tony Bellew who don't really have any problems, it's like you guys aren't on the same team. You guys are in the same division, right? And maybe this is how Tony Bellew feels. But however, nonetheless, I completely disagree with him. For one, I think Tyson Fury at his best is a difficult fight for either Deontay Wilder or Anthony Joshua. But the way he's predicting it, he's making it sound like Joshua would easily beat Tyson Fury. But I think Tyson Fury has the boxing capacity, capability, mental dexterity, the awkward style, and definitely the frame. He's like 6'9", and he weighs a good amount, even though he lost weight, right? To be problematic for anybody, right? So the way he's making it, I understand Bellew and Fury don't necessarily get along great or recent call-outs, but I don't see that at all. I think Tyson Fury he could be spoiler here. Tyson Fury is the ultimate wild card in the heavyweight division. So I totally disagree with Bellew regarding that. And this is the other thing. I seen an interview the other day and Bellew was saying this and that, and Wilder has to realize he's the B-side. And even in this interview, he says it's embarrassing Deontay Wilder has 40 fights and fought the names he has, yada, yada, yada. But listen, every fighter has a different journey to get to the bag, to get to that level, right? Like you look at Canelo Alvarez, he's the biggest star in boxing. Canelo Alvarez, when he fought Floyd Mayweather, go do your research, he had 1 draw, no losses, and 40+ wins. He was 1 fight away, 1 or 2, right? 1 or 2 fights away from the amount of fights that Floyd Mayweather had. The difference being Floyd Mayweather had quality opposition in the bag. He had beaten the Diego Corrales, Arturo Gattis, the Zab Judas, the Ricky Hattons, the Oscar De La Hoya. He had all those names in tow by the time Mayweather fought Canelo. So how is it that Canelo Alvarez had just as many fights roughly, you know what I mean, in the same bracket of fights as Floyd Mayweather, but the quality of opposition was different? Reason being, he had to learn on the job. He was turning pro at 15, and he had to get his experience that way. Just like past greats have done. Julio Cesar Chavez, you know. So I don't understand when people look at Wilder's resume like, oh, who has he fought in 40 fights? You look at Julio Cesar Chavez Sr., who is a person, a legend. I love and respect him. I've seen him, met him, been next to him, all that. Great fighter. But who the fuck did Chavez Sr. fight in his first 59 fights? Right up to about the 60. He probably got it cracking somewhere in the 60-something mark, right? I don't know off the top of my head, but if I had to take an approximation, an estimate, I would say that. So why don't people do that when it comes to Canelo or it comes to Chavez Sr. or something? Like, everyone keeps saying, who has Wilder fought in 40 fights? Okay, who did Julio Sr. fight in the first 60 fights? That's 20 plus more. Who cares if he turned pro when he was 12 or whatever? You know, same thing with Canelo. Canelo had, as I just mentioned, he had 1 or 2 fights less than Floyd Mayweather, and he hadn't really fought like he fought an old Baldomir who was 41. Shane Mosley was like 40, right? Alfonso Gomez from the Contender, right? So he hadn't really fought no marquee. His best name was Austin Trout at the time, right? So what are we really talking about? So I don't even understand that logic when fans, or in this case Tony Bellew, keep talking about Wilder's 40 fight. Wilder, yeah, he fought in Cancun or whatever people want to talk. That's cool. Who gives a shit? A lot of guys fought in Mexico and fought against journeyman type and stuff like that. But ultimately, when people bring that up in situations like Joshua Wilder, it's really makes no sense because it's of no consequence. The bottom line is Wilder is now a champion. Wilder now is one of the respected guys in the division. He's now one of the threats in the division. He's, as you said, as Bellew just said, Wilder is the only man on the planet who can beat Anthony Joshua. His words. So you bringing up the man's money, how little his paychecks have been in the past, his embarrassing 40 fight. If you really think about it, to me, that stuff is just filler. The reason it's filler because you said all that just to say he's the only man that could beat Joshua. No one else in the division stands a chance but Wilder. So it's obviously not that embarrassing if his 40 fights or whatever he has, 40, 39 KOs or whatever, has led him to this moment. So I understand pedigree and amateur experience. Different guys have different avenues to get to the bag. That's my whole point. So who cares if you're like, oh, I mean, his first 38 fights, up until Luis Ortiz, who did Wilder fight? It's just, he's not fought. Who cares? The bottom line is Wilder Joshua is the hottest fight in the heavyweight division. Bottom line is, per your own words, you're saying that Wilder is the potential only person, which I don't agree with that, but he's potentially the only person that could beat Joshua. I think Tyson Fury has a chance to beat Wilder or Joshua, right? Based on style. So I don't see that as easy as he said something like everyone can see what happens. Tyson will get chinned, Fury will get you, or whatever. I don't see that. I think that's a hard fight if he's at his best. I don't know this Tyson Fury who just fought Safari, because that didn't really show me nothing. But if he gets back in the Klitschko form, you know, gets a couple fights in tow, then he's a difficult fight. But I mean, beyond that, it's like people, it's like they fear the inevitable. You know what I mean? So they just want to harp on, oh, Wilder has a, okay, guess what? He just fought Luis King Kong Ortiz. No, none of these other motherfuckers trying to fight Luis King Kong Ortiz. So who cares? You know what I'm saying? Tell me how come Ortiz just got knocked out, yet nobody's trying to fight him. You seen how tough of a fight he gave to Wilder, right? Wilder is the person you say could beat Joshua, right? He's the only person on the planet you think has a chance to beat Wilder or beat Joshua. And you've seen how hard of a fight the Luis Ortiz was, even though he got knocked down first. Luis Ortiz got knocked down in the 5th round, came back like a madman in the 7th round. So you fight him. You like Tony Bellew versus Luis King Kong Ortiz, awesome fight, right? Dillian White versus Luis Ortiz, awesome fight. But guess what? I haven't heard any news about Tony Bellew fighting Luis Ortiz. I heard him call out Andre Ward. I heard him talk about fighting Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury is bigger than Luis Ortiz, so surely if you fight against Tyson Fury, then you could fight against Luis Ortiz. Same thing, Tony Bellew did an interview way after they had that confrontation, and he said, I analyzed things and I decided I'm not fighting Wilder. Why would I give him that much leverage or advantage? Wilder is literally one of the smallest heavyweights in terms of how much he's weighing. So how is it you could fight Tyson Fury, who's bigger, taller, and weighs more mass-wise than Wilder? Wilder came in his last 2 fights 215 and 219, and you're a former cruiserweight. So how is it that Bellew could say and rule out someone in his division like Deontay Wilder, but yet you're willing to fight Tyson Fury, who's taller than Wilder and weighs more? And in his offseason, when he's going through bad times or mental depression or whatever, he weighs way more than Wilder and Fury put together, damn near. You know what I mean? He balloons up. That's my whole point. So you could fight him, but you could rule out Wilder. So you guys got to make this stuff make sense. Like I said, I like Tony Bellew. I respect Tony Bellew. I think he's a very good fighter. Even enjoyed his performance in Creed. But this stuff doesn't make sense. How are you going to rule out Deontay Wilder, a guy in your division, as a future fight, saying his arms wrapped around you and he's too strong or too big, and why should you fight at that type of deficit, but you want to fight someone who's bigger than him? So you know that power must be real. Same thing with Luis Ortiz. Everyone keeps talking about, oh, Wilder's resume is lack. You just seen him in his last fight, battle a warrior, and Luis King Kong Ortiz. So if you think his resume is so light, that's a good fight. You know, Luis Ortiz is a good fight for any of these dudes. But Joseph Parker, he decided to take Dillian White. He'll get respect if he can beat him, and is more money probably. But at the same time, if people are in it for legacy and respect, and they got so much to say about Wilder's resume, then I would love to see someone fight Luis Ortiz, because I still rate him. I still think if you don't possess what Wilder possessed, as long as Luis Ortiz comes back mentally strong, he's going to be a handful for anybody. And that's a good barometer to see how other people handle Luis Ortiz versus him. So that's just to wrap it up. That's my thoughts on this whole Wilder. Who is he fought in 40? Who did Chavez Sr. fight in 40 fights? Who did Canelo fight in his first 40 fights? Okay. Let me know what you guys think. Drop your thoughts in the comments section. Tony Bellew says Wilder. And see, that's, again, the biggest thing I don't understand. He's not making the right type of money. He never made these purses. Oh, but guess what? It's embarrassing. I have a better resume than him. He ain't fought no one in 40 fights. But I think he's the only motherfucker in the heavyweight division that could beat Joshua. What? So that doesn't make sense to me. I don't see how you said all of that to say this. Everything else was like belittling what Wilder's done. All that just to build up and preface, oh, I think he's the only person that could beat Joshua. So what's the point of, who cares who he fought in his first 40 fight? He could have fought Pee Wee Herman. Hey, now, daddy, my bike. Not without my bike. You know what I mean? Who cares who he fought? It doesn't really matter, because at the end of the day, you feel he's ready for top level competition, such as Joshua. And he's the only person that could possibly beat him. So, you know, it doesn't make sense to me to focus on just his past if you think he's ready now, if that makes sense. Make sure you smash the like button as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video, it's Ego signing out. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.